The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office says that shooting happened in a wooded area near Everly Drive, just off of St. John's Bluff Road. Action News Jax 9 Dakota live now in the area. In Zion, this all started with a domestic violence call yesterday morning.
It did, and then it ended up with officers shooting a suspect last night. So we're in the yard of a neighbor right now who says that they overheard and witnessed part of that situation. The neighbor even says that JSO officers left this glove in his yard. That's according to the neighbor when they were doing this investigation. They also say that this shooting played out over this fence behind me here. I know it's dark this morning, so it may be hard to see, but what this neighbor says is that the shooting took place where that suspect was allegedly with his girlfriend in this white property over this fence line here. Now I want you to take a look at some video that we shot earlier this morning when this crime scene area was still active here in East Arlington. Now the scene is now clear because police left within the 4 o'clock hour, but the shooting happened at the house that you saw on Eberly Drive around 9:20 p.m. last night. But the story begins yesterday morning at around 11:50 a.m. JSO responded to a call from a woman saying that she was beaten by her boyfriend, 30-year-old Marcus DeLay. DeLay allegedly left the house before police arrived. The officers were getting an arrest warrant when he went back to the home in the afternoon. Police say DeLay held his girlfriend and her 9-month-old child against their will with a gun for hours. The gun police say they got from the suspect should be popping up on your screen right about now. Eventually, the woman and her infant escaped into nearby woods and called 911. DeLay allegedly came out of the house and fired a rifle into the air. Police say they then went to that wooded area, found the girlfriend and her baby, and DeLay allegedly threatened to shoot his girlfriend and kill everyone. Police say he allegedly pointed his handgun at them, and 2 officers fired shots at DeLay. The suspect was taken into custody and transported to a hospital for his gunshot wounds. Now, I spoke to neighbors a short time ago who acknowledged that there was a history of domestic violence between the couple and that the woman allegedly kept returning to the boyfriend. But the neighbors also alleged that police did not announce themselves before coming onto the yard. That's why the suspect fired the shot in the air. The neighbors declined to be identified or be on camera. I want you to take a listen to what they had to say to me a short time ago. So I'm being told right now that we don't have that right now. We're going to work on getting that for you within the next half hour. But I'm going to ask Kelsey if you could just point down for me right now. Again, police say that neighbors say that this glove was left by police when they were coming over into this area conducting their investigation. We're going to continue to follow this story both on air and online as we get more developments. And we're going to try to get you some of that sound from the neighbor within the next half hour here on Action News Jax this morning. For local coverage you can count on, I'm Zion Dakota, Action News Jax.
This marks the 10th officer-involved shooting, which makes up more than half of the total shootings last year, which were 17. On your screen is a list of other shootings over the last 6 years. In 2024, there was a total of 8 officer-involved shootings. Then in 2023, we had a total of 19 shootings.
This all started with a domestic violence call yesterday morning.
That's right, Chandler. And within the last half hour, we were speaking to neighbors in this area who gave us a better idea of where this incident happened. Now, if you can see, because I know it's very dark at 5 o'clock this morning, we're told by a neighbor that this incident played out over this fence at this property where this white truck is. This was a shooting that allegedly stemmed from a domestic violence incident yesterday. Now, the scene is clear when police were here. They left about an hour ago. The shooting happened in this area around 9:20 p.m. last night. But the story begins yesterday morning around 11:50 a.m. The JSO will do its own investigation once that is completed. But again, according to neighbors in the area, they tell us that this incident played out over this fence by this house behind us here, near to the area where this white truck is. We're going to learn more about this situation and give you more information as we can within the next few half hours coming up right here on Action News Jax this morning. I just want you to point down and see this right now. Neighbors tell me that this glove, in their words, was left behind when investigators went through their yard. And they're also telling me that this entire incident played out over this fence line here. I spoke to neighbors within the last hour who acknowledged that there was a history of domestic violence between the couple. One neighbor says he heard the suspect in the yard before police shot him.
The mother and the child were not there when the cops came up through the back and shot him in his yard. And the guy had asked 3 times, who was in my yard? Yes, he was drunk and he was out of his mind, but he blatantly said, who's in my yard 3 times, and shot off 2 shots into wherever, because he can't see anything back here. It's dark as hell. And the cops just opened fire. And then they started yelling at me, go inside, go inside.
Again, those are the words of some of the neighbors who declined to be identified. And you can even see this crime scene tape by this fence extended onto this property, just to give you an idea of where this whole situation happened.